Good. Welcome one more time for EFB Open Meeting, European Update. Thanks a lot for joining us today. We have an exciting program, a lot of speakers. We have panel discussion, and I will start with very brief introduction to EFB. I kindly ask you to mute your mics, and if you want to turn off your camera, you can do it. This meeting is recorded. So a few words about EFB. European Federation of Green Roofs and Living Wall Association was established in 1997, and it's an umbrella organization for all green roof and wall associations in Europe. We have 18 members from 20 countries, and we are very proud to have many of them today, and we can also have a lot of interesting events with them in the future. We will tell about it at the end of the meeting. Can you please open next slide? We are also partners of many European and world networks. World Green Infrastructure Network, which is also with us today co-organizing this meeting, and SoGreen Alliance, ELCA, and all other members of SoGreen Alliance, ECTP, and the GoNaturePositive project and Connecting Nature Enterprise platform, where we organize all our events, are also our close partners, and we are happy to collaborate, and we will talk a lot about it today again, how we can make our network stronger due to our collaboration. Next slide, please. So yeah, that's all about EFB for now, and we come to our interesting content, so we have enough time for this. I will briefly introduce a moderator of today's event. It's Chris Bridgman, and he's EFB Vice President and also Vice Chair of Green Roof Organisation UK, a founder of Green Roof Day and Green Roof and Wall Specialist. And thank you very much, Chris, for moderating this event. And yeah, thank you very much. Can you please
Thank you, Tatiana. Thank you for the introduction. I'm still blushing a little bit with all of that, but yeah, I've got some big shoes to fill today, as this was going to be moderated by our good friend Dusty Gedge, but he is currently travelling to the depths of the UK, to Devon, where he's delivering a talk for the Royal Horticultural Society. So he sends his apologies, but I will happily do my very best at moderating a really interesting discussion that we're going to have this afternoon with some incredible speakers across Europe. One of my main task today is to keep the meeting moving, so please do not be offended or upset if I nudge you on to speed up, just so that we can keep to our schedule. I want to make sure that everyone has a fair opportunity to talk about everything they want to, and that includes questions from our audience as well. So we really do any questions. If you do want to put a question in the chat and you want to direct it at a certain person, then please do put that in the notes as well. But just to warn you, if you do ask a question in the chat, I will ask you to ask that question. So you're going to have to be brave and follow through with that. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce to you to talk about a presentation of the European Roadmap for Transforming the Built Environment towards a Nature-Positive Model by 2050. And that's by my fellow Vice Chair and all-round incredible person, Vera Enzi. So handing over to you.
Thanks a lot, Chris. I tried to unmute myself. Hopefully it has worked out. Yes, I'm not. So I also have the pleasure today to steer the presentation. So allow me to bring that one back also for me. Great. I hope it works. So yeah, let's probably jump on to the next slide then. I hope they have moved. Yes. Okay, great. So good afternoon. Yeah, it was said briefly already. My name is Vera Enzi. I'm the Austrian delegate to the EFB. I'm serving as one of the vice presidents. My background is in, landscape planning and urban nature-based solutions. So today I have the pleasure to report about the process that we've been engaged with over the past few months. So where we really have the hope that it will help steer the renovation and new build market across Europe towards a nature positive outcome, specifically starting really basically from today, but 2027 until 2050. So welcome to today's goal for my presentation. So at first, a few looks back, what has happened, how did we arrive to that specific point? So those are the incredible contributors behind the road mapping workshops that we had. So these organizations and affiliated individuals have played a crucial role in shaping the vision and what comes after. So it was a very diverse group of experts, visionaries, practitioners that shared their unique insight and expertise to craft the roadmap. And this, collaborative effort, I think it underscores the importance of teamwork here and a shared vision in the challenges that we currently face. We will hear a lot more about that within the next 2 hours. So I think as we move forward, essential to remember it's through all our combined efforts that we can transform our cities into thriving ecosystems. So once more, thanks to all our contributors for the road mapping process. And yes, let's explore the next steps of our journey. So what we've been doing, just to recap, so we had scheduled a series of workshops, each with a very unique focus. So the visioning workshop was the first one. It aimed at collaboratively imagine where the European Union's built environment should be by 2030 and 2050, identifying some key milestones along the way. The baseline workshop helped to understand the current landscape, including existing policies, stakeholder perspectives, ensuring that we address also challenges effectively that we find. As a conclusion, there was a two-parted workshop, which was called Future Pathways, where we really tried to prioritize initiatives that we must set up and support, clarify a bit their scope, involved stakeholders, timelines, while identifying potential risks and also necessary resources. Finally, the roadmap is not yet out, but we are working on it. So during summer, probably already during our joint big conference this year in Berlin, we should be ready to present it to a bigger audience. So moving on, just as a little reminder, enjoy this picture. This is what we did a lot during the workshop. So for me, it is a very deep, detailed and colorful illustration by an Austrian initiative, by the way. It's called Klimakonkret. And it served as, let's say, a central first graphical starting point. So this is where we need to go. This is what must happen, not just on one singular building, but what on a city quarter or a city or urban dweller perspective. So you are, of course, encouraged to visit the website of Klimakonkret and take a look to this picture in detail and also see the measures that are linked to these different color codes in the picture. Moving on, so status quo. I'm very grateful for this clear and motivating vision statement that we've come up with. So I'm going to just quickly read it for you. 2050, a nature-positive built environment. So by 2050, cities and buildings have become living ecosystems, regenerative, circular, and inclusive, where people and nature thrive as one. The built environment restores more than it consumes, strengthening both community well-being and planetary health. Every policy, investment, and design decision supports a nature-positive transformation. Vegetation and biodiversity are integral to urban planning. Buildings are designed with living envelopes that purify air, store carbon and water, and reconnect people with nature, amongst other benefits like energy efficiency and climate adaptation. Regenerative design, circular materials, and green technologies are the norm. Businesses lead with transparency and innovation, finance institutions value natural capital, citizens enjoy affordable, healthy, and nature-rich homes. Standards ensure quality, safety, and long-term resilience across Europe and beyond. Education, research, and cooperation unite all sectors. Policymakers, enterprises, NGOs, and communities in buildings, cities are not only climate neutral, but ecologically restorative and socially just. So this is a future vision that we came up with: fully circular, nature positive built environment, restores ecosystems, empowers people, and ensures that nature and humanity flourish together. And this is the main message that we will go out with. So why change is needed? Let's just quickly focus on why we needed this change. So we're currently faced with several core challenges: fragmented policies, weak implementation, hurdles in standardization, for example. They are topped up by financing, cost barriers, challenges in technology readiness, in some cases scalability. So moreover, still, and a lot of projects are actually dealing with that aspect, there is a significant societal disconnect and acceptance issue, alongside gaps, of course, in knowledge, skills, and awareness. So with these core challenges identified today, we've been working on strategic initiatives to overcome them. So as a response, we picked these 6 strategic initiatives that you can see on the right side, and we tried to go a bit more into detail with them. Of course, what I'm now presenting is just a very brief overview per initiative, and there is much more in the background, detailed plans, timelines, of course, much more activities, who needs to be involved, what needs to be done until when, and so on and so on. So let's just quickly jump over these initiatives. The first one is to basically develop a European standard for green roofs and walls, which we recognized as a crucial step in addressing the challenge of fragmented national standards that we currently have, hindering market scaling, quality assurance, and also cross-border adoption. So what we're aiming for is a harmonized standard that can cover design, installation, maintenance, and safety. It will also get linked to performance metrics for biodiversity, water, energy, carbon. So this differentiation will be crucial for climate zone-specific adaptations, that's clear, and building as well as district level, neighborhood scales, need to be treated equally important as well. So the impact of this first initiative, will hopefully provide market clarity and boost also the industry confidence. And our industry can be confident. I have to reiterate this because we exist already since quite a bunch of time. We've done our homework, so we know very well what we are doing, and we are basically ready to deliver much more than we currently do. Next initiative. So this is about financing issues. So we were discussing how we could harness financial innovation to support the growth of green infrastructure in our cities. So the current challenge here is also quite clear. So public funds alone cannot meet our need. So private investment is necessary, but at the moment hesitant due to some unclear returns of investment and risk considerations. So to address this, we propose to sit down with, of course, financial institutions and banks and experts and develop new financing products. We've been already looking at options. In fact, some innovation projects are already on that specific activity. So it's more about creating, for example, impact bonds, so impact-based financing based on social return of investment, for example, and additionally also focusing on the OPEX part of an investment, because the CAPEX part is quite clear, but what about running and maintenance costs? While insurance linked resilience products and some blended finance options with banks. could also provide some new opportunities. So the impact of this approach could, of course, be significant, and by linking also finance to measurable performance, yes, this shift from this heavy relying on public grants can hopefully be done. Third pillar, mandatory performance and ecological metrics. Here we had the significant challenge that currently there are no binding minimum requirements or harmonized ecological metrics at an EU level. This lack of standardization creates inconsistency and unreliability in performance assessments. So the proposed action is to incorporate mandatory performance requirements directly into EU policies and their national adaptations. We will hear more about that in Luigi's speech. And yes, by standardizing metrics, we can hopefully ensure a more consistent approach across the board, and potentially also adding, of course, CE marking will further enhance credibility and market acceptance. The fourth initiative enrolled around low carbon circular materials and local supply chain. Let's at first acknowledge the challenges here. So currently these non-harmonized environmental product declarations and extended transport distances, a lack of data for local materials, these are significant barriers to adopt circular practices. This is not just valid for green roofs and walls, of course. I think the whole sustainable construction sector is, currently having a problem here. So what's the action plan? So we would try to support testing and validation of local bio-based materials. It will not only harmonize potentially EPD approaches, but also help facilitate establishment of standards that can accommodate circular and innovative solutions. And let's also hope that this approach will also bring our industry, so our SMEs, our nature-based enterprises and larger players in the industry closer to each other to enable, yes, joint and powerful activities in the market. So we achieve three critical impacts with this initiative. We can reduce carbon footprints and as well greenwashing practices. We can strengthen local economies and yes, hopefully create more scalable and more resilient markets. Initiative number 5 goes more to the public, the larger public. It's called Fair Access to Green for Cities and Communities. It is linked to the issue that still green infrastructure, nature-based solutions are limited in some cases to high-profile projects. So they live in vulnerable communities without access. This disparity is dangerous. It can lead to inequities in health and environmental benefits and in society in general. So it is crucial to integrate this into essential community spaces. So we are specifically talking about social housing, schools, and healthcare facilities. And of course, this integration here should also align with broader European initiatives, which I think it already does, so such as, for example, the Social Climate Fund and the new European Bauhaus. So by promoting community co-design and providing stewardship, this local residents empowerment, and also this, also an active role in the green transformation, yes, can hopefully be ensured. So the benefits would foster stronger public acceptance, of course, and the ownership of green projects. Yeah, the ownership of society is a central and vital element that we need for a long-term success of our projects. That's clear. Finally, skills and training within the industry. So everybody will agree, I think we are facing a shortage of skilled workers, and we currently also have inconsistent training quality. It can also undermine trust and performance of the projects that we deliver and the solutions that we place on the market. It's also a critical hurdle that must be overcome in a very short time frame, I would say. So an EU-wide training and qualification framework, of course, would help. It would link also to the standardization approach, of course, and certification and procurement, so that all professionals are equipped with the knowledge and the abilities required to excel. Yeah. So moreover, with a variety of training formats, for example, different learning preferences, of course, and accessibility would, of course, go up. So we not only would enhance the quality, of course, and the safety of the installations here, but also ensure the long-term scalability and build trust and open new possibilities also for economic development. Yeah, last but not least, and then I'm done with my first summary of our process. So let's take at the timeline and milestones that are ahead. So we are currently in the foundation phase from 2026 to 2027, where we are forming working groups around this first initial presented 6 initiatives that we selected, where we're trying to set up also pilot projects that we need and launch them, and establish some foundational frameworks that we need. Moving on, the deployment phase starting from 27 to 35 should focus on embedding really into policy and establishing also a nature positive building standard. And the mainstreaming phase, 35 onwards, yeah, we will see, hopefully, that these practices become a norm, ensure circular supply chains also and fair access on a European perspective. So here is the call. If you're interested, we are looking for passionate, of course, individuals, organizations, businesses to engage with us on our journey. So feel free anytime to reach out, of course, over our email addresses, or just give us a call. And yeah, we really think that, of course, more involvement. We already made had a very nice experience in creating this roadmap with so many experts and visions and also perspectives around the table. So that's, I think, a central element of transformation that we need. But here comes the second call. Before we can make a full start of our initiatives, we still need a bit of time to enrich our own knowledge base with a bit of data. So we invite you to join Europe's largest nature positive market study. It has just been launched. It's, yes, dedicated for us at least to uncover some emerging trends and challenges and also opportunities. And it's not just about gathering data, it's about engaging hundreds of businesses across different sectors, but from the construction and green building sector, at least 100. And the question is, of course, what's in for you if you participate in the survey and you give us your thoughts. So you, of course, can become part of the pioneer community. It's also a chance to have a say, share business needs, work alongside others to drive a nature positive change. And of course, direct access to the survey results and analysis is provided. So can be also used to gain, yes, insights into the current and future market, inform also business strategies. So yes, co-develop, test and refine the training materials that now we are currently working on, that hopefully will benefit, yes, our businesses and the broader industry. I'm sorry. So feel really invited. We will share the links to this survey very soon. So I finished my talk. I know I've been a bit over time, but we started also later. Thanks a lot for your attention and happy to take any kind of questions. Let's go nature positive together. Back to you, Chris.
Vera, firstly, thank you for putting so much effort into this, and to everyone that's been involved so far. There's a huge amount of work gone into this, and it's I know it's total, it's titled Nature Positive, but this is incredibly positive in the direction of travel. But as Vera said, we still need input from everyone going forward. Working together is really important, that all voices are heard and input is received to make sure that this is a European and global collaboration. So thank you to everyone that's been part of it so far, and we look forward to working with lots more people going forward. Are there any initial burning questions for Vera from the presentation? If so, please do raise your hand and we can take one question, possibly two, and if not, we'll move on to Luigi. And in that case, as no one's put themselves forward for any questions, is because probably Vera delivered it so well in the first place. But for a presentation on the guidelines for the implementation of the European legislation for the deployment of urban green infrastructure and NBS on buildings, I'd like to welcome Luigi, who is our next presenter, that's going to deliver some insight into this for us. So over to you, Luigi.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Chris. Let me first of all try to share presentation. Can you see it?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
Yeah.
So good evening, everyone, and Chris, Vera, and friends from EFB. Thank you very much for the invitation today to present this joint work. But also, Vera, thanks a lot for all the incredible work and projects that you have presented in your presentation. That is all very useful for this policy effort that you are trying to make. So as far as policy work is concerned. So maybe very briefly, my name is Luigi Petito. I'm here representing the European chapter of World Green Infrastructure Network. World Green Infrastructure Network in 2019 had this intuition of investing in working on European legislation and try to create policy and regulatory framework opportunity to support and promote the deployment of green infrastructure in urban areas. And somehow the work that I'm presenting today here is clearly part of this effort. It's not the end, because we will see why. I mean, by the end of the presentation, it's actually, but is an important milestone, because we had over the past years, we carried out a lot of work together with EFB, together with many other partners and associations. I mean, I see many are connected to this call. So we carried forward work to, as I said, create what we call policy hook opportunities in different piece of European legislations, which were part of this European Green Deal. And so we have now a number of provisions, a number of articles, okay, in these different legislations that can be leveraged to promote and to support deployment of green infrastructure, green roofs, walls, and green infrastructures in cities. So we decided to create these guidelines. So this work, this publication is titled "Making European Cities Healthier, More Resilient and Beautiful." It's exactly this is basically an effort to provide national and local decision makers with guidance, with support, with assistance on how to transpose the European legislation into the national framework, and at the same time, with this work, we want to empower the members of our associations, other stakeholders, partners, to basically anticipate which are recognized which are the opportunities, because we have a lot of opportunities, but also the potential risks, the challenges, and very importantly, address those in a proactive way, because the transposition of European legislation doesn't fall on us from the sky. I think it is something that takes time, and now we are in the process of transposition, and we can proactively support local implementer. So at national level, we can support them to create, as I said, opportunities for supporting green roof and walls deployment in cities. So the work has been a joint effort from between EFB and World Green Infrastructure Network, European chapter. Eva, Katarina, myself, and Antonin Chapelot, we have been the main author of this work, but we also had incredible support from other contributors and colleagues and other associations. Everything you will see. Some of the names are indicated on the slide, but there's many others that have contributed to support. The paper is relatively long. I mean, we made an effort, and I see Vera laughing, but we made an effort to keep it as short as possible, because we needed to also help readers with something that was not too long. And so we have a document that is 43 pages long, including a nice part on a glossary. There is an introduction, and then there is a very useful, I think I will say a few words after, policy implementation calendar, because there is a lot of things that will happen because of the transposition of legislation over the next months and years. And then we have 4 chapters that are dedicated, which are color-coded to help readers to find their information in the guide. So we have 4 chapters that are dedicated to 3 directives and 1 regulation that we consider particularly relevant. Well, in which we see space, as I said at the beginning, article and provisions that can help the promotion of green infrastructures in cities, in urban areas. And at the end, we have a long list of reference, scientific resources, web resources, and so on and so forth. And maybe just very briefly on the structure of the 4 chapters. So the one dedicated to these 4, as I say, 3 directives: the Energy Performance of Building Directive, the Energy Efficiency Directive, and the Urban Wastewater Treatment Directive. And then the regulation, very important, the Nature Restoration Regulation. So we adopted for each of these the same sort of structure. So in the guideline, we try to answer 3 questions. So first of all, we have done a legal, our modest contribution to a legal analysis of the text. So what the legislation say. So we try to extract from this regulation what is important for our community. The second question is what really needs to be implemented, what needs to be done to respond, to address this, to deliver on these provisions. And the last part is, why does green infrastructure matter? So how our technology can help, which are the support and which are the benefits. So this is a little bit the kind of structure of that you will find in each of the chapters, or the thematic chapters. Then, as I said, I just wanted to spend a few words. I mean, I'm not going through this calendar, but you see, we have kind of extracted from this piece of legislation the main, the key relevant implementation dates and moments, and this is important because it shows us also the complexity of let's say an integrated way of seeing at the implementation of this different piece of legislation. Something, as I said at the beginning, that at which we need to pay a lot of attention, because as I said, this is not happening and falling us on our head from the sky. I think we have to keep this implementation date well under our radar, and with the support of these guidelines and future contribution, future document, including documents produced by the European Commission, because the European Commission itself produces guidelines for the implementation of this legislation. The effort that we made here is to try to provide a focus on urban green infrastructure. So very important part on this calendar. And then now, what I would like to do, again, without spending too long and without going into too many details, I just would like to go briefly in and make an overview of each of the chapter. And then you will have time to of course to go more into details. So first of all, the energy performance of building directive. So here the overall objective of this directive is the one of accelerate efficiency and among energy efficiency and solar deployment in the building stock. There's a couple of very interesting provisions, articles for us. So there is this point on Article 10 on solar obligation. So in Europe, there are mandatory requirements of deploying solar photovoltaic on buildings, different categories of buildings through a different and articulated calendar. So there is a timeline, and another point on this directive is the one related to the improvement, the energy performance of buildings. So there are trajectories that member states need to follow to improve the performance of the built environment. There are the obligations to develop national building renovation plans, very important, according to a certain let's say schedule. And for these specific requirements, green infrastructure matters a lot. For the part related to solar obligations, we know how important is how important are green solar roof, so green solar infrastructure to enhance photovoltaic output, and the EPBD require member states when developing their solar mandate to consider coordination, to consider to assess also other elements, including green roof where appropriate. And we know how important are green infrastructure when it comes also to a contribution to the performance of buildings. So very important from our point of view to look at these provisions and to initiate conversations with the local implementers to understand how to integrate green infrastructure in the framework of these articles. The second one is the Energy Efficiency Directive. Here as well, we have a couple of articles that are particularly relevant. First of all, I think the most important is this annual obligation for local authorities to decrease energy consumption by 1.9% every year. So, and as part of the activities that are contemplated for public administrations to reduce their consumption, there is this the potential of wastewater plant and wastewater infrastructure to deliver, let's say, leveraging the water energy nexus. So how we can, through decentralized stormwater management, reduce the energy needed to treat stormwater for in increasing context of in a fast changing environment with storms and so on, with the impact of managing impact of climate change and so on. So this is another very important element where we would need to interact and discuss with local authorities to understand how to include green infrastructure into these mechanisms for reducing, for generating savings at the level of public administration, but also in the framework of another important article, the one that describes the energy saving obligation, so schemes for which member states needs to reduce energy savings every year. So again, understanding how this can be green infrastructure can be leveraged to achieve these objectives. The third one is very important for us about the urban wastewater treatment directive. So here the core requirements or the one relevant for us concern the fact that the authorities need to develop integrated urban wastewater management plans. This needs to be developed for certain type of agglomerations within a certain period, and these plans must prioritize. There's a mandatory, let's say, there's a prioritization for green and blue infrastructure over gray infrastructure, and we know why green infrastructure matters here. I don't think I need to explain to the audience of this event, of this workshop. We have like huge retention and detention capacity from green roofs and so on. And so here in the guidelines we suggest ways on how to interact with the authorities to make the most and leverage as much as possible the integration of green infrastructure within such plans. And then at the end, we have obviously probably one of the most obvious, let's say, a piece of legislation to leverage, to support the deployment of green infrastructure, which is the Nature Restoration Regulation. I think we all know about the urban ecosystems targets that are included in Article 8. So we have the non-net loss of urban green spaces and tree canopy by 2030. We have from after 2030, we have the increased trend of green according to a satisfactory level, which needs to be defined. And we have explicit reference in the legislation about the importance of integrating green spaces into buildings and infrastructure. I mean, this is a very, very strong element for us. Again, we know why green infrastructure matters. I think the simplest is that green roof, green walls basically provide green spaces where there is where land is scarce, where there is no, especially in urban areas, with all the connected and broad benefits that this brings together. And again, we propose in the guidelines an implementation focus with an approach to follow for the implementation, for supporting the full implementation of this regulation. And okay, so I think after this fast overview of the content, I wanted to come back very briefly on some of these, on what is which are the objectives of this. I mean, I've anticipated this a bit at the beginning of my presentation, and also some of the expected outcomes. So first of all, I'd like to repeat, I think this is important. We need proactive involvement of members, of partners, of stakeholders to support the implementation of this legislation at national level. Let's say to a certain extent, I mean, some work has been done, at European level. Now we are here to provide, say, ammunition or tools. I think better. Let's say tools for local action, and through this we expect to enhance as much as possible influence on the transposition processes, which are ongoing. I mean, on some of these directives, the transposition processes are very slow. we hope to be able to create stronger alliances with governmental and non-governmental stakeholders. We definitely want to increase visibility of the technology, so which are the benefits of green roofs and walls. We want to try to create also a sort of coordination among these actions at national level, also to facilitate exchanges and.
C'est pas mes sous, hein, c'est les tiens.
Sorry, it's. And then we want to, of course, at the end of this process, try to accelerate market uptake. So leveraging these laws to create opportunities for market development and deployment of green infrastructure. Okay, at this point here. We would like to. I wanted to share with you an action plan because the guideline has not been published yet. Okay, so I really wanted to have an opportunity to present it, and this has been like probably has been discussed with the colleagues at EFB. We want to let's say mobilize. As many associations, as many stakeholders at national level as possible. So the idea is to make the material and the guidelines accessible. We will publish on the EFB and WGIN websites. We will provide the guidelines in downloadable formats. We will work with national associations to translate this in local languages. We would provide, let's say, support and a port of call for requests of help and support, for going more in depth into some of the provisions of the legislation. We will, as I say, work on translating. So translating not only in terms of language, but also trying to reflect the local context, because obviously we have to take into consideration the diversity of different situations, different contexts in Europe. And as I said, we would like to. We will make ourselves available to support local national associations and local stakeholders with identifying who has to be contacted, and together understanding a bit, working a little bit on processes, on strategies to deliver the content of these guidelines. In terms of launch, because this is also probably the first opportunity to work together, we would like to launch the guidelines on the 19th of February at 10 o'clock in the morning. We are preparing a communication package that you will receive in the format of a link. So this link will include templates for social media posts, LinkedIn, different options. We'll include the template for post on X. We'll include the links with the guidelines. It will include visuals that you can use on your web channels, a short text for your websites. So material that you can fully decide to adapt, to adjust to your local needs. You can translate, and the idea is to make all this available on the 17th, so one day before so the links will be made available on the 17th of February, but all the package will be shared as soon as possible at the beginning of next week, so that we can maximize as much as possible dissemination. I think that was my last point. I mean, I'm more at this point interested in questions and above all in getting also initial feedbacks on this idea. And Vera, please step in as you to complement. Now I think we really need to spread and disseminate this document as much as possible. First step, and then we need to start to use it. We need to use it. We need to interact with the people that are working on this directive. They need our support. They need our, let's say, technical knowledge on this. We are here by pulling together three directives and one regulation. We are also simplified their life. So we are providing an overview of what needs to be done. This brings me back to that calendar of things that are happening. So we have made this work. I think by leveraging green infrastructure in urban areas, they can tick multiple boxes in these different directives. So I think this is up to us, and we can make a difference in the next, really make a difference in the next months and years. I stop here, Vera. Chris, thanks a lot for the opportunity.
Thanks a lot, Luigi.
Yeah.
Yes, for that. Yes, great short summary. You've all heard this is not a small document that we came up with. Still, we tried to be very specific. Yes, so just like Luigi said, now it's up to us. So we are a large network. We have national scope also. So this is also why we created this presentation and the guidance in a way that it is a very open format, so we can easily react to your national needs. We can translate it into national languages fast. We can adapt it in case some national aspects require adaptation. We can make it more tailored to some specific national stakeholder groups that you need to address. Yes, and we need to see how the process, develops. But this is really happening now. And I think what Luigi also said, it's really important also. In some countries, we already see that there is a lot of activity, of course, in meeting the solar mandate, which is in some countries also turning out very negatively for existing green roofs, because existing regulations are being pushed back or made ineffective or somehow pushed into the renovation market. So we must act now. So my impression is we've been also as EFB and our members, we have been very active, but we have not been proactive until now. But now really, just like Luigi said, some doors are not closed, they're not locked, they're a bit open. We must open them, we must go through them, and we should take our active role in steering national policymaking. Yeah. And this is exactly what also our next session will be about. And I really encourage you also to use the chat, put some questions. Also, if you have thoughts, please put your thoughts in, because we are very happy about any kind of thoughts we get on our journey, because we are on a journey. It's not perfect. We will also hit some side roads at certain parts. But I think the general direction is clear, and the basic guidelines are here now, so we can walk this way, or we can go this way together.
Vera, maybe just 15 seconds only to add something that I think is important on the document. So the document is also intended to be a living document, in the sense that we would like to keep updating it with new with new elements, because our effort to create opportunities in legislation for the promotion of these technologies is not ended. For example, there is this very important European climate resilience framework that is in the making. There's an open consultation. This is another, I think I want to take this opportunity also to ask everyone to look into this and answer and provide the answer to this consultation. And I already see at the end of this process, potentially, some other opportunities. And there are opportunities in the water resilience strategy for our technologies as well. So I think for the moment, I think the document soon will be integrated with other chapters and with other guidelines. Because this is because again, as I said, our effort to create policy hook is not ended. Okay.
Yes,
So
yes.
that's I wanted to pass this message. Thank you.
And that's also why there is this also white nice spot that you can see on the slide on the right top, because we already know in 2026 everything will be about resilience, right, Luigi? And resilience is also a very big topic that wonderfully meets with nature-based solutions, green infrastructure. So yes, we build it as an extendable and adoptable framework, and that's how we will continue working with it. Yes.
Luigi, thanks to you for the incredible work that you've put in, and to your colleagues so far. And just to echo what both Luigi and Vera have said, that this really is a call to action for people to input into this, and no matter how big or small your contribution may be, it's really crucial that we get a pan-European and worldwide input for this, and work together to push this. What I am going to do in the interest of time is ask for any questions that anyone would like to direct at Luigi to pop them in the chat, just so that we can move on to our next panel of speakers, if that's okay. And the next part of the session, we've got a really interesting panel that is on a discussion on national level implementation of European legislation for urban green infrastructure and nature-based solutions, which is NBS on buildings. So one person on the panel can't be with us today, so that's Pavel, and we're going to do his presentation. It's not a live video link, but it's a video. So in just a few seconds, we're going to play that, and then we're going to move on to Rebecca, Christina, and Fernando, because they've got some slides that they're going to share with us. And last but not least, we're going to hear from our dear colleague Maurizio. So without further ado, I will ask Tetiana to play Pavel's presentation, please.
Dear members of the European Federation of Green Roof and Wall Associations, dear colleagues, first of all, please accept my apologies for not being able to attend today due to a collision with another event. I'm glad to contribute through this short video, at least, to briefly share our experience with the national implementation of the European legislation. Let me go through the main files currently under transposition. For the Urban Wastewater Treatment Directive, the transposition process is ongoing. At this stage, there is an expert consensus across the industry on the recommendations of green infrastructure. The resulting legislation will be known in the next months, latest until the end of the year, and as usual, there needs to be a vote in the Parliament on it. Regarding the Energy Performance of Buildings Directive, the transposition is also underway, but I have limited information on the details. From what we see, the debate is mainly focused on reducing the heating demand rather than cooling demand. And at the same time, the awareness of the measurable and significant energy benefits of green roofs remains a little low. For the Energy Efficiency Directive, solar installations are increasingly becoming the norm for new buildings. And our work as an association has focused on raising awareness of biosolar roofs. However, I do not yet have clear visibility on the details of the national transposition of the Energy Efficiency Directive. And concerning the nature restoration law, the situation is rather unclear. The process of the transposition is taking place, but it is taking place in a turbulent environment, including changes in the leadership of the Environmental Ministry and some experienced personnel under the ministry. There are concerns that the proposed legislation may be too weak and could miss its potential. Looking across all these processes, one conclusion stands out to me, and that is that green roofs are not a political topic. They are a social and economic topic to the same extent as they are an environmental one. Thank you for your attention, and I'm sending greetings to every country.
So that was Pavel Dostal, who's representing the Czech Republic. He's also an EFB Vice President, AZSF Board Chairman, and Greenville CEO. So thank you to Pavel for that. If there are any questions that we can pass on or share links with to Pavel after this, then please do drop that in the chat and we can connect you. Next, I'd like to introduce Rebecca, who's also an EFB Vice President and the BOOG Project Manager representing Germany. So over to you, Rebecca.
Thank you very much. I hope you can see my slides.
Yes.
Perfect. So I'm very happy to present you some aspects from the German perspective. We were given some questions that I would like to answer to you, more like an overall perspective. So how are our plans to use this very nice document, the guideline that we have right now, that we are very happy to have. And for sure, we will read it as an association very carefully, that everybody from us knows what actually comes in parts of regulation. Then we will distribute it, so we will spread it widely and definitely present it to our members and partners so everybody knows about it. And then we will definitely, we already do it, but we will collect all the information that we have on implementation of all these individual EU directives and recommendations. And then we will take a look what kind of instruments they want to use, which authorities are involved, and for sure the timetable. And the policy implementation calendar that we have in the guideline is very important to us so that we do not miss any deadlines and that we can have an impact. What we would like to do is to use this guideline as a base document where we can develop a national strategy or like a position paper, and yeah, to really appropriate conservate the building greening in the German process, in this political process for each EU directive. So we already did this for earlier content. We did this position papers on our own, but also together with cooperation partners. What's also very important to us when it comes, for example, for the water directive, we really need the water partners in Germany, the water associations with us on board and create a alliance. The next question was, which stakeholders do you plan to engage at the national level? Our main contacts here in Germany are definitely the local authorities, because we have a very direct communication level with them. But for sure, it's also important to contact the state chancelleries of every federal state and also the relevant federal ministries. For us, it would be the Ministry for Economic Affairs and Energy, for environment, but also for housing, urban development, and so on. And as I already said, cooperation with other associations in Germany. When you look at the topic, as I said, when it comes to nature, you need the nature associations. When it comes to water, you need the water ones. So to create this big bond. We already had a project going on called Urban Dialogue for Building Greening, and I think for us, we will definitely transport those informations over the event systems and communication channels that we already have. So we will just implement it in our natural structure. And the last question was, what concrete steps will your association take to support implementation? And you will see the first points are the ones that I already mentioned, but we also want to send this strategy or position paper to the authorities involved to really create an effect are hopefully creating an effect. We will monitor and support the implementation. And for sure, we will inform our market or specific target groups about the upcoming regulation, and we will include it in our market report that we'll have every year since 2020. The last one was from 2025, but the 2026 will definitely include the guidelines. And I think that's it from right now, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Rebecca. That's really important message coming across there, and we look forward to hearing more from you in June at the conference in Berlin, which we encourage attendees to go along to. Next, we're going to hear from Christina, and she is representing Portugal, the ANCV Vice President and an NBS research scientist. So over to you, Christina.
Thank you very much. It's really a pleasure to be here. Thank you for the invitation. Also greetings from Paulo Palha, that is the president of ANCV, and from EFB. So I will also follow in Rebecca's lead, and the challenge for this session is to talk a little bit of the action of ANCV in Portugal, and now how can we comprehend these guidelines. And this provocatory sentence was to start up, because in the association we always follow this inspirational line to apply in all the projects. So in terms of Portugal, the environment that we have is that things are started to be, there's an open mind to incorporate nature-based solutions and the green infrastructures, although main implementations in terms of regulations and strategies are mainly done by municipalities. Cities are sometimes seen as with a lot of problems, pollutions and bureaucracy and so on, but in fact they are really a powerful players, because we have people concentration, stakeholders concentrations, companies, people, so a lot can be done in the cities. So I present here some of the examples in Portugal: Barreiro and Sintra, Maio and Espinho and Valongo, that already incorporated some of the not guidelines, but some regulations and tax incentives towards green infrastructures implementation, although a lot of work has to be done. And these guidelines, I think they are really a game changer. In terms of ANCV, what we intend to do and what we are ongoing doing, it's promote the connections between different actors, governments and municipalities, so national and regional, education and research institutions, academia and universities, market, the companies, and the civil society. So this is what we are doing, and this is what we really intend to do in terms of cross-sectional cooperation to accelerate the climate goals towards 2030. So what we aim to do is to actively engage the municipalities and central governments. We have some public agencies targeted, like the Energy Agency, the Environmental Agency, but we see that this implementation has to be in terms of collaboration and with the several actors involved and engaged. So we have an action implemented with success. So these are some of the examples. Another part is our intention to use these guidelines with a true national strategic instrument. So to present, as I said before, to the national government, and with some of the materials and documents that the association already published, like the Green Roof Technical Guides and others that we are preparing. We tend to support also these guidelines. So we have a confident and well-structured implementation. And this is really important, and we have seen in previous actions that to build confidence, it's important to have these guidelines and the technical documents. And also, just to mention that we also intend to establish national and municipal working groups to create the task force to accelerate this implementation. So just briefly to say that we have already 10 years of experience in terms of courses, building capacity within the municipalities, with the universities, technicians, but a lot has to be done. But it's important to see the good examples like the NBS Summit that was held in Porto, that we were able to engage the father of the sponge cities, the architect Kong Yang-hyu, and other entities and personalities. So this is very important to have the international community also supporting and give the view to this strategy. So this is what I intend to show in terms of also our aims to the implementation of the guidelines in Portugal, and of course being connected with these huge partners makes the success happen, and that we are aware of all the issues to be considered. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Christina. Much appreciated, and great to see so much great stuff going on in Portugal, and already that outreach with people around Europe and the world as well. So thank you for that. We're now going to move on to Fernando. Fernando, if you're okay to introduce yourself. And
yes.
Fernando is representing Spain for us this afternoon.
Okay, thank you for the presentation, for your time and your interest in this meeting. I am a member of SESCUBE board members. It's the Spanish Association for the companies that work with green roofs and living walls. I want to start our revision of this document that Luigi has been presenting, and what we are doing from SESCUBE, and what we plan, how we plan to use this guideline in Spain, and which parts of the guidelines we consider most useful for us. First of all, we will try to use it as an implementation roadmap to move from the strategy to a measurable implementation, and also to get an alignment with the European obligations that comes from the national restoration law, also the energy performance building directive, and also efficiency directives, and convert this into actionable measures in Spain. No? Also positioning green roofs and walls as a compliance tools, not only like optional add-ons or auxiliary elements that like they are acting now. We will focus, and we are now focused on what it matters most for us, that is to get an implementation schedule, focus on acting in the right political moment, also with a coordination with the agenda for the implementation of all of these regulations and the progressive implementation of these new politics and regulations. Also enabling measures, because there are very poor information about data, standards, incentives, and monitoring that makes in Spain very hard for the public state, municipalities, and so to apply this installation and to revise this type of projects. So they what you are not able to measure is hard to improve. No, I'm focused on the urban ecosystems according to the Nature Restoration Law in the Article 8, in order to integrate nature into buildings, to give the buildings the potential capacity to increase all these green areas that until 2030 will not be revised. Until then, all the main lines are focused on establishing and not reducing the green area, and more focus on the trees and the forest areas. But we from ASESCUBE, we want to develop the focus on the building and urban area. The stakeholders that we plan to engage, and we are along these years already working with, who we already have experience with them, are three levels. Now, mainly in the national levels. Now, from the Ministry of Ecological Transition, they are driving the implementation of the National Restoration Plan that is still in process. They are collecting the information by means through the Fundación Biodiversidad, the Biodiversity Foundation. They are managing all the financials and all the economic lines to support the implementation, and also translating these goals to the autonomous communities. Like, for example, Andalusia, that has launched at the end of last year economical resource for the municipalities in order to implement green infrastructure or green solutions to implement better new projects to enhance the greening of their building environment, and also to improve the resilience of the urban environment. Also, through the Ministry of the Livelihood and also Urban Agenda, they are promoting different regulations and standards for buildings, but they are still in a very early stage to be close to be like a national restoration plan. And also the IRAE, that is an Energy Efficiency Institute that give also financial instruments and funding instruments to improve the efficiency in buildings. But also in the local level, our goals are to get in a better connection with the FEM. It's a federation of municipalities in Spain, and they manage all the planning, the public tenders, or the public buildings, and at the end is where they are acting more clearly and giving. They have to develop more specifications and regulations to help these type of projects to go ahead, and keep on pushing and connecting the technical ecosystem formed by architects, engineers, landscapers, by means of the professional colleges and also the professional associations like the Spanish Landscaper Association, also connecting with universities and research and investigation facilities at national level that we are connected with. And we know that it must be in funding prescriptions and in public procurement, a very good definition in order to scale all these goals that we have, no, in order to make the green area more integrated in the urban area, avoid the solar versus green dilemma, promoting a bio-solar integration. Here in Spain, this aspect is still in an early stage. It's not so in the trend line like in another countries in Europe. Also try to speak in terms of compliance and indicators that many universities are working to establish, to identify which parameters they need to measurize and to compare in order to see which solutions are better, and also at the end to get a report. Finally, all of this is to focus on decision makers and measurable performance in order to give a better idea or final image of the situation. and how these green infrastructures and nature-based solutions can affect in a specific way to improve the quality of life and quality of performance, the efficiency in buildings, and so. Our steps from SSQB for the implementation of the European directives, we will be focusing it's our planification that is yet to be approved, but from a first stage from 0 to 12 months to develop the SSQB implementation toolkit is a way to call it. It's like a ready-to-use proposal. Some types of main goals by means of promoting the information and connect the public entities in order to let them know how green infrastructure and nature-based solutions, green roofs and living walls, can affect positively to the urban environment, and propose these indicators and model clauses for the national plans. As SSQB want to be a member that has its own voice in this level of getting commitments and agreements with the different institutions that regulate and create standards, and also keep on building strategic alliances with the rest of professional associations. And so for the next 2 years, we will be working in launching the 2-3 flagship pilot projects focus on public buildings, like a pilot type of possibilities in order to promote this installation or these proposals into the municipalities, and promote models for the municipal regulations and green and blue solutions. As I told you, the blue solutions are starting to be considered in Spain, mainly because of the recent damages caused by the really hard storms we have had these 2 last years. And also try to clarify the support for incentives in the design, and to connect with the municipalities in order to let them know how these solutions can be implemented. In the long term, we would like to be working on the standardization and creation the technical guidance to deliver for the public entities and professionals. Also to keep on updating an annual sector monitoring report. We are now doing our first market report to get a previous evaluation of the state of the market for green roofs and living walls, and to be able to give a feedback in the policy into the national renovation and restoration plans in order to help all these organizations. Now, as I told you, for these main goals or strategic objectives for the 2030 and 2031, we would like to ensure urban green growth includes buildings, because now buildings are a bit a part of the main lines that are main focus on forests and trees and the green covers in the city, but not specifically in buildings. In Spain, we have a lack of regulations and standards, and also we want to make green roofs and facades a standard infrastructure, not only a singular installation or something that appears in a very strange situation. No, and also deliver measurable and climate, biodiversity, and resilience benefits in order to spread the values that we can get with this type of projects. So at the end, the result will be go from the pilots or the ideas to a policy integration that help also the technicians and the professionals and the companies and also the municipalities to implement this type of projects, and from the voluntary practice to a structural implementation that in Spain is still in a very early stage. I have created this map. The national nature restoration regulation that comes from the European Union that is combined with the building renovation policies based on the efficiency performance of the buildings and the national building restoration plans. will be helped by means of this guideline that EFB is going to share in a few weeks, that we will be paying attention and sharing with all our partners. And we will try to connect with the rest regulation that are still in Spain acting now, no? Like the National Green Infrastructure Strategy, the Climate Adaptation Plan, and the Spanish Urban Agenda. All these has a methodological and a municipal guides in the local level for the urban green infrastructure that has to be completed with the building environment. And this will be a very fast summary in order to let you know what we are doing from SSQB. Thank you very much for your attention.
Fernando, thank you. That was a really good presentation and lots of great work going on in Spain. Obviously, we're sorry to hear about the floods that you're experiencing right now there. So obviously our thoughts are with those people affected. I'm going to move on in the interest of time to Maurizio. He's so cool that he doesn't need any slides to support him. He's going to go for it unaided. And I know that he's going to give us a very swift update on the Italian side of things for us. So over to you, Maurizio.
Thank you, Chris. Sorry, but my wonderful English will be very clear for everybody. So I can not use the presentation, but of course I'm joking. Which part of the guidance are for us useful? What I find is that the energy directive, at the end, they are starting talking about cooling and energy saving. So for us in the Mediterranean area, you can imagine that the cooling is very important and also energy demanding. So for this reason, I see an opportunity on that. In what's happening now in Italy, normally the different ministry, they have some bodies making the regulation and laws and so on. So in Italy, about the energy is in Enea, we say in Italian, Enea is the main body, and they, as far as we know, within April they should present two directives, how that's taking consideration the European EPD and also the EED. And so we will, and then will be made a public inquiry in which we will try to enter. We are, of course, already in contact with Enea, but this body is normally quite close. They don't share so much. On the other hand, they have done a public, for roof, for green roof and facade. Sorry, they made a guidance for this, and so they are already sensible about discussion. We already are discussing about this. So this is very is a very good opportunity. About the water, okay, in Italy we already with the last water directive, European Water Directive, we had an infringement procedure. So we in Italy is not very fast to get this, but on the other hand, we are not lucky, but we have now a very bad environmental situation about flood. So many regions in Italy, they already make laws. They made laws that to manage this water stores water, and so there is the opportunity to use the green roof for that. So this is a quite a good thing for us about the business, not good for the people, of course, because it is a very bad situation now in Italy. Just to tell you that with the critical rain in certain region is 180 millimeters per hour, so it's very huge now. So and it creates a lot of problems. So I see also in that I see an opportunity. In any case, my opinion, for a certain point of view, we are ahead than the European directive, because we need it. We need to do something. About the nature restoration law, unluckily, it became a political item. So Italy, if you remember, voted against the nature restoration law. So at the moment, everything it seems to be stopped in another body that's inside the environmental minister. And it seems that it was slowed down at the moment. We don't have information. Also, what they are slowing down is the everything around the biodiversity. So this is also not a good situation. But I said this, in my opinion, it shouldn't be a political item, but it is in fact. So we have to take in consideration. So which are the stakeholders? Of course, there are these bodies that make the regulation for the ministries. And so the next actions will be to try to be in contact with them and to give our help, to give information and so on, to help them to introduce the green roof and facade, the green infrastructure in the regulation. Also, for us, are very important the allied associations like the association of the professional associations, like the landscaper, architect, engineer, and so on. But also there are some big research institute like CNR or other that can be. We are already in contact that we can make some action together. And then, of course, the professional associations also, they are the industrial association. So we are already made some steps regarding this. So about the actions, the first action, in fact, as I said, is try to be more and more in contact with these bodies making the regulations at the national level. But on the other hand, in Italy, the municipalities, they have the power to make local regulations. And so we will try to spread the guidance also to the municipality to a lower level. And of course, third is to try to supply as much as possible technical informations. The paper made by Vera, Rebecca, and so on, that collects a lot of publication is very important, because what we need to do is to give some information, but also technical performances to the municipalities or to the technicians. And we in Italy, we are lucky because we have a national norm, a uni norm about the green roofs. We made also as association a guidance on the green walls. And so we are we are very well positioned, and so I think that we will be very interesting. So in any case, I think that the guidance is will be very important, and we will get good opportunities for us to enter more and more in contact with the legislation bodies. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Maurizio. Nicely delivered. And thank you to all our panelists for some really great insights from their countries. We're now going to move on to a panel discussion. So we've got a couple of questions that have come in. Obviously, questions that people are putting in the chat directed to individuals, if those individuals could respond in the chat so that everyone can see them. And in the interest of time, we can have a broader panel discussion. David, I'd like you to go with your first question, which was to the panel, please, if you'd like to deliver that question to our panel.
Okay. Do you hear me?
We can hear you, yeah. Thank you, David.
Yes. Yeah, okay. So actually, that first question, I would be more interested in hearing the answer to my second question. But the first question was about the transpositions of the EU legislation, because we know that some member states, they comply on time and early. Others comply very late. Some comply forward-leaning. Others comply backwards-leaning. So the question is, when there are forward-leaning member states, are we spreading the examples and good practice the way we could be doing? And that question is basically to the whole panel. Thank you.
Luigi, are you happy to answer that?
Yes, Chris. No, I wanted to. I think this is a very interesting, very smart question, David. I think there isn't, as far as I know, there isn't a plan or let's say a process in place yet to share this, as you say, you call it, good practices in transposition. But we have a desperate need of doing so. I think this is very key. Before at the beginning of the workshop, I think, at the beginning of my presentation, I think Vera also referred to something, for example, happening. Just to give a concrete example, something happening in France with the government transposing EPBD and reducing the impact of the transposition of EPBD being very strong on the current regulation for green roof. So I'm creating conflicts. I think if in the exchange that we had with her, one of the point was what other member states are doing. So how this has been approached in other member states. We need absolutely, when we have good practices, we need to have them structured together so that we can reuse them as examples in other countries. So thank you very much for asking, and I think this is one of the key element. Unfortunately, because the EPBD is very slow in the transposition, we don't have examples yet. But those will start to come, and as soon as they're available, we need to make them available for the community. Thanks.
Vera's itching to tell us. She's got two hands up, so over to you, Vera.
No, I think I can follow up on that. It's a very funny question because at the beginning, when we came to the conclusion, right, Luigi, to write this guidance, so the original guidance version was much longer because it's very good that it's condensed now, but it had a not yet very far developed element, which was basically national stories on what we already know how the transposition works. Yeah. So what we did in that aspect, for example, Rebecca and myself, we tried to look into the German and the Austrian situation to see, are we doing the EPD implementation the same? Are these the same institutions? Are these the same processes? Do we have the same opportunities to get into it, or is it totally different? The point is totally different. Yeah. So, and of course, if we would have added all these stories to the main report, it would not be readable. Yeah. But, and I think this is a very good and a very important question and aspect. So I think the tricky situation is we now really need to work closely together and inspire us with our national experiences as we go along the way, because something that works in one country would probably not work in another, but would be useful information to be there on time. And so, yeah, I would say concluding now the EFB, World Infrastructure Network, and wider alliances, very close collaboration work on policy implementation is starting cross-border, and we are just in the middle of it. Yeah. An observatory would be a very interesting opportunity, for sure. Sorry, back to the panelists.
Thank you. I'll bring in Christina now.
Yes, thank you. Just to mention that this the project GoNaturePositive and the roadmap that is being carried out, I think it's really important. And with that, we could reach entities, stakeholders, policymakers in a way never done before. Because one thing is the way we try to operate and reach. Another thing is to have a huge European structure of partners with a very aligned objectives and aims, and with a transparent communication. And with that, I think we are reaching out real conclusions that will help to go further. And these examples, for instance, one of the things is really the capacitation of professionals, and people really need good examples, because we cannot have myths, still histories and like legends related with green infrastructures that give problems. No, they don't give problems. If they are not implemented well, they will not work properly, but that happens with everything. So I think we are here, and our motivation, we are all very passionate about this, because we truly believe in our hearts that we can make a change, an impact for a better world. And this roadmap, I think it's really, really good. And also thank you, Vera, now directly, and Tatiana for all the guidance. Thank you.
Absolutely, we definitely all echo that. Vera, you had a question for the panel as well?
Yeah, well, I think Christina just answered it partly, because yes, so to my understanding, translating the guidance, trying to play an active role in a national, of course, implementation of policy is one thing, but as an association, knowing what the goal is, yeah, and understanding the bigger steps. Yeah, policy making is one aspect. You saw the 6 initiatives that I put on the screen today. So these 6 initiatives and the directives, they have already proven to work also in Portugal and in Czech Republic. So my question to the panelists who have not been yet part of our road mapping process, because we're doing it in a project, and so far we just had an initial resources to develop the whole process, understand how road mapping works, who needs to participate. But now we have all the tools at hand, which also means we can support other national members in developing their own roadmap, setting it in stone, getting it right across the association, and then just really follow this pathway, yeah, on a structural way. Some of our associations will already have this kind of long-term plans, knowing what's on the road and what to pick up until when, but probably some of us don't, or probably the newest developments, they provide a very good moment to probably step back and understand, are our own plans or roadmaps, are they still matching the needs? So probably some few adjustments would be good. So my question to the panelists is, does that also help? So should we prepare, especially of course inside the EFB, also to make this road mapping process available to you so that you can have your own national roadmaps?
Who would like to come in on that from the panel? Becca, you've saved the day.
Yes,
go for it.
Thank you. The quick answer, Vera, is yes. We want the roadmap, because I think for our association and for every member, EU legislation is very complex. It's a very complex topic, and it's very helpful to right now have this document with this 4 legislation regulations, and that already helps in the communication and understanding what's behind and how it can influence the building greening market. And when we now develop a roadmap, that's even better for the understanding. And as an association, our member, they are interested in the EU as a total area. So they want us as a national association to be an influence. So that would really help.
So then let's see that we work on the resources side. The tools we already have at hand. Now we must look at the resources side, and then we're also going to focus on yes, pushing that second aspect and making it available and yes, deployable for our members. Thanks. That's also a very, I think, very good and important feedback for our GoNaturePositive project, which at the end has somehow enabled us to, yeah, to grow. And this is very positive.
Thank you. We've got time for one final question for any of our panelists, or Luigi or Vera. So if anyone would like to ask a question, please feel free to raise your hand now.
Probably just complementing, sorry, to what David has asked in the chat. So David, in Portugal and in Czech Republic, the European road mapping process was tested in a national scope. So it's already validated to work. They are have just both completed the last and final workshop. So within also the next few weeks or months, there will be 2 examples of 2 national roadmaps available. So we already have this basically. Yes, and of course we will be very happy to share it once it has also a very decent and yes, nice layout so that it can be published and presented.
Excellent. Well, if there are no further questions, then we're going to hand back to Tatiana just to give us some EFB updates on things that are coming up. Just before then, my thanks to the panelists for their great presentations and everyone that's spoken so far. Over to you, Tatiana.
Thank you. Yes, thank you very much to all the panelists, all speakers, and to you, Chris, for your excellent presentation. I would like to tell a few more words about upcoming EFB events. Thank you very much, Vera, for sharing the slides. Yes, first of all, to emphasize on our European survey, which we just launched now. It will not take much of your time. And next slide. Yeah, great. You can see QR code on the screen and in the chat, and also link in the chat. We do not do it only for green roof sector. We ask you to answer on behalf of construction sector. So for all construction companies, it's very, I think it would be interesting to see the results also for us and for them too. And there is such an opportunity. If you participate in this survey, on the last part of it, there is a link where you can subscribe to the updates from GoNaturePositive project, and you can then receive summarized results of the survey and see how many companies are interested in nature positive development of their activities and what they're currently doing and so on. Vera, do you want to?
Sorry, also to complement this. So the survey is also built on a very informative way. It's not just about ticking some boxes, but it is very informative to understand the concept and also to understand how the concept influences a business scope. That's the point. And I think it's not yet here. I just realized, which is, we have to change it afterwards. But I think it's also time to, basically announce a very interesting convenership and also partnership for the survey and also for the roadmap, which is our collaboration with the European Construction Technology Platform, the ECTP. Which does not just, of course, take a look at nature-based solution, but represent the construction sector and the construction sector challenges on a big scale. And that will also, together with us, continue the journey on our roadmap and, of course, also on gathering data and really slowly getting into the construction sector levels as well to discuss this. Sorry, I just wanted to announce it. Next time we already have the logo on the slide.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, so it's 15-20 minutes of your time, and we will be very grateful you for your participation in it. The survey is available in different languages. It is in English, in German, in Spanish, Italian, and French languages, and Czech and Portuguese. So please also share it with your network in your country, and let's look all together what it tells us at the end. And next slide, please. This is conference which is going to happen in Poland, and EFB is a partner of this conference, and there will be EFB members who will be speakers there, Vera, for example, and we encourage you to register. It will be also online, so if you don't want to travel, you can participate online, and the link to the conference in the chat. And next slide, please. Of course, the biggest event in our sector, World Congress of Greening Buildings 2026 in Berlin, in Germany, in June. There is still opportunity to register as a presenter. Few more days, and this is already extended deadline, so it's really last opportunity. And of course, early bird registration is maybe still possible. You should check at the link in the chat, and EFB will be present there with all members. Our annual general meeting will take part there, and if you want to meet us in person for networking, welcome to join it. This is only offline event, and it will also have a big exhibition and excursions. So we are looking forward to meeting you in June in Berlin. Yeah, that's next slide, please. Yes, our online events will keep taking place this year. We will have more webinars, more EFB Open meetings. Some of them will be available on YouTube. So please make sure you subscribe to us, to our networks, our YouTube channel, and you are informed about our new topics and events we are working on. Yeah, that's all. Thank you very much from my side, and yeah, thanks a lot to all the speakers, to moderator Chris, and also for the authors of this publication, Vera, Luigi, Antonin, Katerina really invested a lot, and also of course our members and our partner networks as SoGreen Alliance and Egbert and so on. It was a huge work, and we are really looking forward to finally launch it and make it available in public. And it's very nice to see how it can be useful and supportive for the countries. Thanks a lot. And thank you all the participants for coming here and dedicating your time to our event. It's a pleasure.
And Chris.
Yes, Chris, of course. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Chris, for the excellent moderation today. And
Thanks
to all the
Dusty
participants
for allowing me to do it, and thank you for everyone to keeping to time. We're absolutely on time and where we need to be, and we wish everyone a pleasant evening, and thank you all and everyone that's contributed today, and we look forward to seeing you all again very soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot. We will receive a couple of emails from us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Ciao, everybody. Ciao, ciao.
Yeah,
Thank
with
you. Thank you.
guidelines and with survey links and so on. So we are looking forward to a fruitful collaboration on all these topics in future. Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks everyone.